Hey guys, it is Ian here, and this is my lab video for INTC 2030. This is lab 6. Here on the screen I have the tasks we're going to be performing. We will be setting up a file share between the O1 and O2 computers. We're going to configure both NTFS and share permissions for these folders we created. I'm going to demonstrate that the permissions are properly working, and I'm going to set up a domain-based Dfs namespace on the O1 computer. I will demonstrate that the namespace is working. We will then set up the replication, and I will demonstrate that the replication is occurring. Let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is first we're going to create the folder that we're going to share. I'll do that right now. Documents, new, go to folder, type this one folder 01. Okay. Inside it we're going to create a file. We're just going to put a little bit of text on it. Go ahead and save it. Close out of that. We're going to right click it. We're going to click properties. We're going to go to the sharing. We are going to share. Go ahead and click share. It's going to ask you for some credentials. Go ahead and type those in. Alright, then it gives you the UNC path. Go ahead and click done. Hop over to the second server and we're going to do the same thing, just a little bit differently. I'm going to name this one folder 02, and inside it's going to be text 2. Alright, go ahead and save that. We're going to go ahead and save the folder and we're going to share it. Go to share. Go ahead and click share. Again, it's going to ask you for that same credentials. Type those in real quick. Okay, again it gives you the UNC path. So next we have to do is we're going to be setting the NTFS and the share permissions on both of those folders. To do that, go ahead and right click the folder. You're going to go to properties. Now first we'll do the NTFS. Now in order to do that we're going to add a group. We're going to add both the group 1 and 2, which is user 1 and 2. And user 1's in group 1 and user 2's in group 2. Okay, and for folder 1, the group 1 is going to have read-only permissions, and group 2 is going to have modify and read. So group 1, read-only. Apply OK. And then group 2 is going to have read and modify. Apply and OK. Go ahead and click OK out of that one. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other folder that we created, folder 2. Group C security. We're going to add both those groups in again. But it's going to be just a little bit different this time. It's going to be reversed. Group 1 is going to be able to modify, and Group 2 will be only able to read. Apply OK. Now that was the NTFS permissions. Now we're going to do the share permissions real quick. For sharing, you can click down to Advanced Sharing. It's going to ask you for some credentials. Okay. Hit Enter. We're going to share this folder, and we'll go under the permissions. Now the rule of thumb for share permissions is that if we are using both share and NTFS permissions, we're always going to allow full control on the share permission side. So add both groups in. And we're going to allow them both full control. Click OK, and we're going to apply an OK. We'll do the same thing for the second folder. And again, we add the groups in. And we give them both full control. Apply an OK, and you can click close. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we are going to do a little verifying that the permissions are set properly. So I'm on user 1, as you see here on the first computer. We're going to navigate through the network, through to the documents. Now, user 1 is allowed to modify the text2 file on the second computer. To prove that, we'll navigate over to it. We're going to go to the folder 2 and open up the text document. We're going to attempt to save, and the save should be successful. File save, and it allows us to save. Close out of that. We're going to try to edit the text1 from the user 1 on the computer 1, and it's not going to let us. Due to the permissions that we set earlier, we're going to attempt to save, and notice how it throws an error, says that we cannot save the file. Make sure the path name is correct. Of course, it's not going to let us. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hop over onto the other computer, and we're going to do the exact, of course, the opposite way. Over now. As you see, I am logged in as the user 2. Go to the documents. We're going to browse the network. Now for the text 1, the user 2 that's in group 2 should be able to modify it. We're going to attempt to modify it now. And it allows us to save. Now what we're going to do is we're going to navigate over to the second server and attack to the second text file. We're going to attempt to put text on the file and see if it allows us to save. It should not. And as you see, it gives us there that it cannot save that last text that we entered from the second computer. Go ahead and close out of that. Next, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up a domain-based Dfs namespace. In order to do that, we'll go to the Administrative Tools, Dfs Management. We're going to highlight the namespaces. Right-click, New Namespace. We're going to click Browse under the Search for Servers. We'll click Advanced, Find Now. It's going to ask you for the administrator's login. Go ahead and type that in. And we'll highlight the W2K01 computer because that's the host of the server we're going to be wanting. Press OK. Press OK. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to press Next. And the name, we're going to name this one Lab 6 namespace. Click Next. We'll leave the default settings for the type. So for the, go ahead, and it says successful. Go ahead and click Close. So next what we're going to be doing is we are going to be adding the folders from the namespace, folders that we created for the replication of the namespace to the actual namespace. In order to do that, you right click the namespace, we're going to click New Folder. This one's going to be 6rep01. We're going to add Browse to the UNC path. Go ahead and click OK. And it finds it. We'll click OK. That adds it to it. Next, we're going to do it to the same folder that's actually on the other computer. To do that, right click, again, New Folder. This one, the name of this folder is Lab6Rep02. Click Add, Browse, and then Browse again. It's going to be 32K02. Click OK. And there's the folder that we created, the lab 6 repo2. Click OK, and then OK again. Click OK. Now to verify that, we're going to go ahead and close, and we'll type in the UNC path in the run, which is lucernpublishing.com, and then the /lab6 namespace. Hit enter, and you'll see it brings up the two folders that we had before. So we'll do is we'll make some quick changes inside here. Save. And then we're going to hop on over to the second server, and we're going to make sure that it replicated to the second server. We'll just type in the same UNC path. And as you see, the text from the namespace carries on both to the second server. Go ahead and save. And that just proves that the namespace is actually working. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the Dfs Namespace Replication. To do that, we'll go from the server 01 back to the DFS management. Here you'll see the replication. We're going to right click, click new group. We'll leave it the multi-purpose replication group. Click next. Name of the replication group. Name it Lab 6 Replication. Click next. We're going to add the first and second servers. Ask you for some credentials. You can go ahead and enter those. Click next. We'll leave it at the full mesh topology. Click next. We're going to leave it at the full bandwidth, and then we replicate normally. Now go to the primary member. This is going to be the very first server that we created. And then we'll click create, and then we get green checks next to all the settings. Close. And it tells you the replication will not begin until the configuration is picked up by the members of the replication group. That's okay. We'll go ahead and click close, and then close again. And that completes my video for Lab 6 of the INTC 2030. I'll see you guys later.